Hello, my name is Anna Poor, and this is my material history podcast. And today we will be exploring medieval Russia, or which was then known as the Kievan Rus, from 1240 to approximately 1260 CE. We do not have an exact date. So what are these artifacts, you might be wondering, and they are little birch bark inscriptions, drawings, and tiny little writings by a boy. The birch bark inscriptions and drawings were found in Novgorod, Russia, and the first ones were actually uncovered on July 26, 1951. Since archaeologists initially uncovered the birch bark texts, inscriptions, and drawings, they have found over 900 in the surrounding area. However, 900 is way too many for me to discuss in this video, so I will be talking about a little boy by the name of Onfim. So what we know about Onfim is that he was a little schoolboy in Novgorod, and he is approximately ranged to be around 6 to 7 years old. We still don't have an exact age for him at the time. However, the majority of estimates do place him to be around 6 to 7 years old, so we can infer that that was his approximate age. Onfim's collection is relatively large considering he was only a little boy. There are approximately 12 to 15 surviving. It just depends on how you count, if they're merged, if they're not, but there's quite a few nonetheless. Most of Onfim's drawings, if not all of them, were actually, they were doodles around his schoolwork or on the other side of the birch from his schoolwork. He had so many, so we can just assume he was a restless little boy trying to focus in school, but then got bored and started to doodle. Now, we know in particular that he was trying to learn his letters. So he was writing his letters, and then you can see in many instances, like here, that he just got bored and started doodling instead. So there's tons of different pictures in different contexts. So we have pictures of Onfim and his father, Onfim and his friends, Onfim going to war, and even Onfim disguising himself as a really beast-like, monster-esque creature. So, in particular, we learn a lot about Onfim through his drawings. First of all, we know it's Onfim's to begin with because on one of them, it is inscripted, "I am Onfim," pointing out and referencing himself in one of his drawings. The drawings also inform us that Onfim had friends. Of course, this has been common throughout the vast course of human history, but it's very particular because in the drawing of him where he is disguising himself as the beast, saying that he was the beast, there is also another set of text, and this set of text reads as "Greetings from Onfim to Danilo." It says this in the little drawing up in the sign that the beast otherwise known as Onfim is holding. There's also many other pictures of people who we aren't quite sure who they are. However, they could be friends, people you've seen on the street, just classmates or other family members. As stated before, there are also images of him going into battle. One in particular, he is riding with someone else on an abnormally large horse. This is just so significant in the study of material history. It is significant in material history for a vast multitude of reasons, but one that really sums this up is an argument that J.D. Brown makes in The Truth of Material Culture, specifically when he argues that objects display to us who we are. It shows and displays to us who we are because Onfim was just a regular little boy. He wasn't of a high class. He was just like any regular person. What's significant about the findings of these birch bark inscriptions is that we know that the people discarded them after use or after they were filled up because they were found in deposits of mud and clay, which were able to preserve them. If they had thrown them anywhere else, in the fire or whatever, we would have never found them. As Onfim was just a small boy who wasn't of a very high social class, without these drawings and small little descriptors, he would have been long forgotten in the abyss of history. That is highly significant from a point of historical analysis in general, because it shows us how a small child in the Kievan Rus in the 1240s to 1260s viewed the world. That is very specific and extremely hard to come by. It also provides us with a sense of connectivity that we would have never otherwise had. It shows us that Onfim was just a little boy who enjoyed to draw. He was doodling, being bored in class. It shows us his interests of spending time with his friends, his family, and pretending that he was a mythical beast, or going into battle with friends or his father. Or perhaps more importantly, it shows us that in the grand scheme of things, children have stayed consistent. Today, children still doodle in class. I know I doodled in class when I was a child. It makes things not seem so far away or so foreign, and shows that even 781 years ago, kids were still doing the same thing that kids are doing now. And in material history, that is so powerful, because this is giving us documentation that is extremely rare and very hard to come by. It tells us a more mundane story, but a story that we can connect to, because it's just telling the story of a regular kid. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast on my little friend Onfim. And here are my sources. Thank you very much.